Hello there guys, it's Stephen here back with another video. How are you all doing this week? I'm sure by this point you're watching England through the boring international break, so I thought I'd make a video talking about Manchester City, the good stuff basically. I also want to say thank you to all the very positive feedback from the podcast that I did the other day with Sam Lee. I was a little bit overwhelmed generally how nice everyone was about it. I didn't expect that much positive feedback. I'm glad you all enjoyed it, and don't worry, there are already plans for more podcasts with more various guests. In general, I want to kind of just get people off a little bit of insight. People who can talk about more than just the fan angle. I do the fan stuff myself and I get a bit bored of my own voice sometimes, I'm not going to lie, but I want to find people who can talk about Manchester City with insight. Maybe they work in the industry or something like that, or journalist angle, or someone connected to the club, stuff like that. Personally, I want to interview people with stories and a different perspective from the fans in general. Not that there's anything wrong with interviewing fans, but that's what I want to try and do. So if you've got any names, let me know in the comments. If you haven't already checked out the podcast, get a brew and watch it for half an hour after you watch this video, of course. But anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about some transfer news that's going around during this international break. Most of it could be tedious nonsense, but we're going to mention it anyway. I'm going to start with the wonderkid, one of our own, Phil Foden. According to the Mirror, he could leave for £175,000 if he runs down his contract, which is a big if. I don't think he'll be going anywhere personally, but apparently the likes of Dortmund, Red Bull, Leipzig and PSG are sniffing around him. I'm sure everyone in Europe is sniffing around Phil Foden. He was absolutely fantastic the other night from the 21s, absolutely ran the show, only 18 years old of course, and he stole that show in general. It was only against Andorra, but he was everywhere, just one step ahead of his teammates. Some very good young players in that England team as well, just quality, and we all know he's getting better and better, and he's starting to look like he's nearly ready. If you give his Community Shield form against Oxford, he was the best player on the pitch, and in general in some of his cameos this season he's just looked like a very good player, getting more and more confidence. Now there's obviously the risk of a Jadon Sancho scenario kind of happening here. If he doesn't get his game time, he'll want to go somewhere else. City are obviously playing on the fact that he's a Manchester City fan. They'll trust him in the process, be patient with the club, and that's a good, in general, it's a good theory. We can't push it too far though, because his patience, well, we can't stretch it too much, because you can't abuse good faith that much. But I think in general, he does trust Guardiola. He looks at the ageing David Silva, and it's horrible to say that, but David Silva in 18 months won't be the person that he is now. I think that's fair to say. Gundogan, he's definitely not the player for the future, really, at Manchester City. And you look at those two slots in the squad and think, I can actually potentially be there alongside De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva as our midfield kind of fulcrum, and he's good enough to be that. I see personally, in 20 months from now, him being a first choice player at Manchester City, a starting lineup kind of player. He's got the ability. All he needs now is a little bit of patience. He is only 18, as he said recently. He's very young still. He expects himself to bulk up. Fingers crossed though, we can actually show him this season that he can get the minutes to carry on his development. Personally, I'm critical of City's youth sometimes. I think Foden will get the chances during the season, given how many games we've got to play, given his improved stature in the squad at the moment. And then there's loads of noise around the Ajax wonderkids Ligt and Jong. As Sam Lee mentioned on my podcast the other day, City are after them apparently. They want both. They might go to Ajax and go, have all this money for these wonderful players and come to Manchester City, because they tick so many boxes that we could need solving in the future. If you think about the age of Kompany, not so many, we might need a centre-back, hence why Matthijs Ligt has been linked, a fantastic player, a powerhouse leader of a centre-back already despite his 10 years. And Mundo Deportivo reporting that Man City and Barcelona are ready to take Ligt off Ajax, as well as Juventus, Bayern, United all want him for around 75 million euros. Don't come cheap, these wonder kids, do they? And apparently it's the same for Frenkie de Jong. City have informed Ajax that they're willing to pay more than 70 million to sign the player ahead of Barcelona, PSG and Tottenham. Now with de Jong, we all know, apparently, allegedly, he wants to follow in Cruyff's footsteps and go to Barcelona. Now, apparently, according to Sam Lee, Barcelona are now fearful that City are in the pole position. With De Ligt, he got actually asked the other day after the international game, and he said, where do you want to be? And he went, Ajax. The newspapers need to write something. It's normal, the stories. Now, obviously, he's just a young player respecting his club. He could also mean that, and probably does mean that, but I'm sure at some point he'll want to expand his horizons and move somewhere else. Now, I think both of these will end up at City. No. One of them, potentially. Anytime soon, maybe not. These are the kind of players that, in my opinion, if they do go anywhere, they'll probably go in the summer. It could even be a thing where we agree a fee now and he doesn't move until the summer, either of them. But I'm not getting my hopes from these ones. I don't know why, they just don't seem like the kind of signings we make. I feel like one of them will go to Barcelona. I don't know where the other will go. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen to me. I could be wrong though, because they're both fantastic players. I wouldn't turn any of them down. For De Ligt though to come, you'd have to presume Kompany would have to sod off, and maybe Otamendi too, because he won't fancy his chances of being the fifth choice centre back at the moment. I wouldn't really blame him either. But de Jong, well, well, he perfectly fits that soon to be vacant Fernandinho slot. In a year or two, Fernandinho won't be here, which is a horrible thought as well. Age catching up with him, and he could be the man to do it. He has all the ability. He's a Guardiola midfielder down to a T, but we'll see how it pans out anyway, won't we? Anyway, guys, that's just some thoughts there on the Foden news, the Ligt news, the Jong news. Let me know who you want to see on the podcast coming forward, and have a good day. In a bit.